This is 24196 Foxmoor Boulevard, Woodhaven. It's a pretty straightforward job. I'm going to begin here. So this is some kind of strange block, and we're going to build it like a retaining wall though. So we're going to pull all this block out that you see. It goes all the way here, but we're not pulling out the bigger block. You're going to pull it out, dig a trench, put an inch of slag sand down, level it in, and get it looking better. And then there's a couple, he wanted to kind of inspect these and where they're coming off, try to get that block back into the concrete, get this block back into the concrete and down lower, and then this one's kind of low, so just touch this area up as needed. He wasn't majorly concerned with it, but it would go a long way to do that, to make him happy. And the trees are getting boulder edge, and the mulch is coming out, and then we're bringing beechwood pebble in. My guess is, I'm hoping it's 3 yards of rock, but it could be more, so you might as well bring the max load on the first run, because it's going to at least be that. This mulch is coming out, and this diamond edging is coming out. If you want to berm it, you could leave the mulch in and put the rocks on top of that, but probably want to take a good majority of the mulch out. You don't have to take it all out. And then we want to expand the radius of the bed on this tree. It looks like it's like 1.5 feet, so I would come out a foot. He wants to give the tree room to grow and expand. And my prediction was about 120 feet of boulders. It's sort of hard to get footage of boulders, but if they're on a pallet, every line of boulders on the pallet is about 4 feet, so you can count the lines of boulders and get a rough estimate about how far they're going to go. And especially if you're stacking them on boulders yourself, you can stack them in lines and then count your lines. Usually a pallet's 4 foot, so you can get a rough idea about how many boulders that you'll need, and get the 6 to 8 inch boulders. So in the back is the same thing. This is just boulders and weed block, and when you do the boulders, cut maybe with a sod cutter or with a trencher, cut a trench around the tree, and then dig it out. It doesn't have to be very deep, and it's not like slag sand's going in, but what you want to do is you want to set the weed block where the boulders are going as well, because weeds grow up through the boulders and stuff, and it's better. So you put the weed block in first, then you put the boulders, then you put the rocks. Oh, I'm sorry. We're rebuilding this side too, here. And what you want to do is you're going to want to prop up. So the reason this is happening so bad over here is not only because of the pop-up emitter, but also because of the sprinkler box. So what you're going to want to do is lift up that sprinkler box, and then you're going to want to bring soil, like not like a half yard or anything, but you're just going to want to bring something to lift this area up. So you're going to lift it up, grade around it. You're going to have something to pack under it to keep it up. And then once you do that, then you're going to rebuild this portion right here. Oh, and he says that the beechwood pebble is thin through here, so couple scoops, you could really waste a lot of rocks in there, so try to make it work. And then the 4 trees that we're doing are here. Same process. Do your trench, lay your weed block, put your rock, get out a lot of that mulch, and make sure you bring the trench out, like put the boulders sort of on the edge of that grass line, so so the bed stays the same, but the boulders are outward, if not making it a little bit bigger. But these beds are better, so you'll probably be okay with these beds, not expanding them. Yeah, I would say don't really expand them. Just make sure you put the boulders where the grass is. Don't make the bed smaller. Same thing here. These don't have really expansive root systems, so these beds are fine. Do the same thing here and do the same thing there. And then the one thing he's concerned about, which will be a pain in the ass if you know, unless you can convince him otherwise. He's afraid that the beechwood pebble will not match this stuff on the side, and then he wants you to like take some of this beechwood and put it on the bottom over here and then put a top coat over here. So, you know, you might have to do that because you certainly can't put any on top of here. It's already high enough. So that's the only way I see of doing that. So if you can get out of doing that, okay. But if not, you'll have to do that. So keep that in mind. And just don't forget to call the customer in the morning. I know I'm repeating this a lot, but it's important. Call the customer in the morning. When you get to the job, go over it with them. And then at the end of the job, just make sure they're happy. And that's it. Okay.